Today I'm going to walk you through the basics of how a Google Ads search campaign is structured. And I do this because sometimes when I'm working with a client, they'll reference, "Is my ad up?" which tells me that they have a fundamental misunderstanding of how a Google Ads campaign works. So I'm going to walk you through the basic functionality. Also, the pretty picture makes it easier to grasp than it does possibly when you look at it in the Google Ads interface. So this campaign is a search campaign, and it's going to be located inside of your Google Ads account. So we're going to assume that you've created a Google Ads account, and in there you're going to create a search campaign. So your campaign is the top level of your advertising avenue here on Google. So that's your top level. There are no ads in a campaign. The ads are contained inside of a campaign. The campaign is something that you want to give a meaningful name to. So a meaningful name would be something like search December 2024 landscaping design, for example. So you could look at that campaign name and you could easily tell exactly what the purpose of that campaign was and potentially when you created it if you use the month and date in the name. That's what we do at Inbound Revenue. So that's the first thing, is give it a meaningful name. That campaign consists typically of ad groups. Now, technically, a campaign could have one ad group, one keyword phrase, and one ad. That's all it's required to have an active campaign. However, most campaigns have multiple ad groups. And the way that the ad groups are structured is what we call single theme ad groups. So let's say, for example, you are a landscaping service, but you offer landscape design, landscaping services. You want to target keywords that are non-specific, such as landscaping near me, and you offer hardscaping. So you would create ad groups relevant to each one of those keyword themes. All your landscaping near me, landscaping company near me would go in the landscaping near me ad group. All of your landscape design would go in the first landscape designers near me, landscape design companies, landscape design cost, whatever intent-based keywords you chose to group there. So these will be single theme ad groups. You'll have multiple ad groups. You notice we still don't have an ad yet. So the client asks, "Is my ad running?" Again, doesn't fundamentally understand how a Google Ads campaign is set up. Inside of these ad groups are those keywords that we talked about. These are typically keyword phrases, and we use the term keywords simply to abbreviate because it's a term that we use a lot. So these are typically keyword phrases. A keyword would be landscaping. A keyword phrase would be landscaping design company near me. So these are keyword phrases, and they're all relevant to the ad group. So an ad group will typically contain multiple keywords, and they'll also have multiple match types, which we'll discuss in other videos. And then finally, in the campaign structure, we come to the ads. So now we have ads that will display in Google search when someone triggers the ad using one of the keyword phrases that are in the ad group. And typically you'll have more than one ad. When Google introduced responsive ads a few years ago, which I go over in another video, responsive ads do some testing for you. However, you can also set them so that they are less test friendly. Let's put it by pinning your headlines and pinning your descriptions. So typically what you want to do is test multiple ad copies. So you may have 1, 2, or 3 ads. Typically, if you have more than 3 ads, you're not really getting much benefit. You don't want to have 8 or 10 ads in an ad group. You want 1, 2 ads. And if you run multiple ads, you want to be testing something different in each one of the creatives. So perhaps a different offer, different humor in one ad as opposed to a dry, straightforward ad. You want to test something different. Every ad should have its own purpose. So you'll notice we have the campaign level, the ad group level. The ad group contains keyword phrases, and then these keyword phrases, when entered in Google by a searcher, trigger an ad. And it would trigger one of these ads, and typically it will rotate these ads until it finds winners, and then the winning ad will be displayed more often. So that's a basic understanding of the Google Ads campaign structure. If you have questions, please drop them below. I'd appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. I'm Mark with Inbound Revenue. You can check us out at inboundrevenue.com.